there are certain immutable facts of life, and those were painfully obvious on that debate stage. And the president just doesn't seem to he hasn't come to grips with it. He's not winning this race. He's more likely, if you just look at the data and talk to people around the country, political people around the country, it's more likely that he'll lose by a landslide than win narrowly.
Ooh, ouch. Not exactly a vote of confidence. Joining me now, Sean Spicer of the Sean Spicer Show, who's not going to be in Milwaukee next week. I don't want to talk about it. I'm bitter anyway. Sean, okay, let's have a chat. Everyone says Joe Biden's gone. He's going to be...
Listen, the elites are going to Milwaukee. I get it. I'm not an elitist. This is like Joe Biden. I'm blaming the elites. I'm not an elite. You're an elite. I didn't get to invited. You're an elite.
That's me. I'm a very elite person. 100% me. All right, Sean. Look, the palace intrigue is bad right now. It is fascinating to watch what a poison pill Kamala Harris is in this entire thing, but Biden is hanging on for now. This can't last, right? It's not going to happen.
There are three things that were happening this week that I think were important. One, House and Senate Democrats were returning to Washington where microphones could get jammed in their face, and we're seeing a little of that today. Number two, the NATO summit, where world leaders and their top aides can leak to the media that he lost a step. He forgot somebody's name. He nodded off. That's high risk, low reward. And number three, what the White House is, I cannot believe, calling a big boy press conference as though it's funny on Thursday, which is nuts. The idea that after 3 days of intense meetings, you're putting this guy who couldn't, after 12 days of rest, handle a debate. I think that's high risk, low reward. What do I mean? So what's the big thing? On Friday, if anything goes wrong, I think we're going to see a whole another level of panic set in. If Biden is the nominee Friday night, he's it. We're going. It's done. But if he can get through this week, I think there's not even a question in my mind that because he's dug in.
Okay. How much worse could it get for him, though, Sean? Because I don't disagree, obviously, but how much worse could it get? I mean, look, okay, he has to get through a press conference. So let's say his press conference goes bad, which, of course, it won't go well. It's just a degree of how bad it is. Let's say NATO goes bad, people leaking, but he's not going to be worse than he is now. You have Democrats openly calling for his head. Clearly, the guy wants to stay.
So there's two groups that matter right now. In sort of descending order. Number one is the leadership, the Hakeem Jeffries, the Nancy Pelosi's, the Chuck Schumer. He's still got them, at least not saying negative stuff. That's a huge win. The second is the Black Caucus. He had a call with them and the Hispanic Caucus and held them together. That is the base of the Democratic Party, the Democratic coalitions, right? So if you can keep Black men and women on board, you're in good shape. And that's where he's got right now. If he starts losing the head of the CBC coming out or something like that, then he's done. It's over. As long as he can keep that base together, he's okay.
Okay, so I understand why Jill and Hunter would want him to stay, but you've been in the White House. You've been in the halls of power before. I don't understand. I understand the intoxication of power and all those things, but why would Joe want to stay? I mean, look, he's on the back nine. Sean, he doesn't have 5 years left, probably. He definitely doesn't have 10. Everyone with eyes can see that. Why would you want to stay in the most stressful job in the world? Go to the beach. Go to Nantucket. I know he rents a place there all the time. Live out the rest of your days with chocolate ice cream on the beach. Why would Joe want to stay?
Well, first of all, the greatest job in the world is former president. You get a full Secret Service detail. Everybody wants to see you. You have to make no decisions. I think that, to me, like the greatest gig ever is being current vice president or former president. Vice president, you get a pool, big house, no real decisions. President, former president, you get the full detail, the motorcade, everything, without any of the drama or the responsibility. But to your question, and you alluded to it, and this is the thing that's important, is the people around you are addicted to power. Jill, Hunter, Ricchetti, Donnellan, Bruce Reed, Anita Dunn. When they leave, when he leaves, they leave. When he leaves, they lose power, and it's over and it's done. So to answer your question, why does Joe stay? Because they want him to. They need him to. And if the people are around you are saying, you can't go, it's too important, there's more work to be done, you're the only one who can stop Donald Trump, you start believing your own spin. And frankly, he is in such a bubble that those are the only people that matter to him. And he's only being given access to people who want him to stay. So if the only thing that you're hearing, if your echo chamber is just people who said it's too important for you to leave, you've got to stay, the health of democracy, the future of the free world, all depends on you, well, then that's what you think. And you alluded to it, but I'll tell you, I said this in the first book I wrote. When I went to resign, I knew that the second that I handed that piece of paper to the President of the United States, that my life would be forever changed. It was over. I couldn't ever go back. You can't just walk back into the White House. And I was a mere staffer. And so I think these folks get it. Once they say he's going and he's gone, he's not the center of the universe. No one cares what they think. Hunter can't grift off him anymore. Jim Biden, his brother, the gig is up. So, and for real this time, because there's no potential run in the future. So they're all invested. You know, Jill just got on the cover of Vogue. That's over. No more beautiful spreads, no more press corps following you and reservations at all the restaurants that everybody wants to have you seen it. You're back to Delaware, and that's it. You're not flying around DC hobnobbing with all the world leaders and all the thought leaders and get invited to the Aspen Ideas Conference or wherever else they love to hang out. That's, you know, all of the elite events that Jesse Kelly gets to go to. That's it. They're done. And so that's it. DC is a power-centric city, and once these guys give it up, they're empowered to empower him.
Yeah. Why is the media out for him now, Sean? They've covered for him. They have covered for him for years. They're
Great
out
question.
for him now, though, and they are out for him. Why?
That's you know what? You're the first person that's asking that, because I think you're the only honest broker out there that's like, all the rest of them are afraid to ask this question because they lied to him. And it's like a family. And I think Corinne felt that way yesterday. What are you guys doing? We're friends. I used to work at MSNBC. My partner was at CNN. Why are you treating me this way with these tough questions and accountability? It's because they misled them. And that's the thing. Hell has no fury. And Jake Tapper did this yesterday. The problem is, once you start attacking the moderators of the debate, once you start misleading the press, they're going to turn on you because their credibility has been called. They were like, we covered for you. We read your talking points. We said that this was normal, that everything was okay. And then you betrayed us and you lied to us. So that's why they turned on him.